Greetings and salutations, Charlton66 here with a video and to check in with some recent stuff that I picked up on at my comic book store and some books that I had picked up at a used bookstore about an hour and a half from here in York, PA. Place that has called the York Emporium. So if any of you are in the area and want to check out, place it's got some good used books and comics and other records and other things like that. Check them out. But first, went to the comic book store. Just didn't pick up everything that was in my pull list. Really quick. A series I'm really enjoying, Outer Darkness. I'm really enjoying that series. And Mars Attacks number, I think this is 3, yeah, with the awesome Francavilla cover. That's really cool. Glad to have that particular cover again. With Dynamite and Boom and a lot of other comic companies, obviously, are coming out with different covers. But the Francavilla is the one I really wanted, and another one I wanted by Robert Hack. Because it's based off, like, it looks like the cards, the bubblegum cards that came out. So those are covers I like going after. Heroes of Crisis number 4. Men Without Fear 1. Number 2. And I missed out on Joe Golem 4 and 5. So this is a really good series. If you like H.P. Lovecraft and that kind of stuff, Joe Golem, he's like a detective in the city, is halfway underwater, and he gets stuck with some paranormal investigations above the water. Everything else is halfway buried, drenched in water. Titans number 32. And Avengers. I take that back. On my last video, I said I only read Daredevil and what was the other Marvel book that I can't read? I read the other Marvel book that I read. Marvel's just not hitting it for me anymore. Marvel was Daredevil and well, Avengers is the other title that I read from Marvel. I'm very happy with this title, Bitter Root. This is number 3, great cover. These guys are really hitting it for me in this comic book. Really enjoying Bitter Root and Justice League. Of course, previews came out. This is going to be a new Battle Age for Hero series, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I like the original series. I was a big fan of Battle Age for Hero back in the 60s and 70s and the 80s. I also know what this is going to bring. I'm not too familiar with Sam Humphries, so we'll see. This is the previews, of course. You get Marvel's and DC's own little previews. Little preview situation there, and Batman with guns. I still don't understand that. It's beyond me. I haven't read Batman probably in 30 years, so I'm not going to moan about it because I don't know what's going on with it. So, but seeing Batman with guns is just, I don't know. Of course, a must-have, I think, for anyone who's into comic book history and to understand and appreciate what has come before. Alter Ego is a source of information that it's just a fountain of information. It just got tons of stuff in here. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it, but they talk about the things that come before and interviews and stuff they talk about: Golden Age, Silver Age books, Bronze Age books. So Doc Savage, awesome. Even though that movie is cheesy. But that's it for the new comic books. Didn't really get a lot. I had some special orders that I thought would be in, but didn't make it in. They're I'm still waiting for them. They're some Golden Age and Silver Age reprints, hardback. One's focusing on war comic books by Wally Wood, which I'm really looking forward to. They're taking a collection of Wally Wood horror stories, horror war stories, and putting it in one volume. It's a slipcase edition, which I'm looking forward to. Some of the books I picked up at that used bookstore. Was a fan of these books in my youth. Edgar Rice Burroughs. These are hardback. Some of these are hardback. More the ones I did get are hardback, and I got some paperbacks. But the Gods of Mars and the Warlord of Mars was awesome. Frazetta, I got these for under $5. Really great Frazetta covers, and has the Frazetta spot illustrations, which really makes the book, I think. But I got Gods of Mars, Warlords of Mars, of course the Mastermind of Mars and the Fighting Man of Mars. Again, awesome illustrations. These are only like $5, which, you know, was well worth the price of admission. If, you know, I read these back when, gosh, when I was maybe 11, 12 years old, when I first discovered the Edgar Rice Burroughs world, so to speak, and I enjoyed it then, and I'm sure I've read you know, bits here and there between that time and now, and I still, you know, I remember it fondly, and it still held up. I'll put it to you that way. Thuvia, Maid of Mars, and the Chessmen of Mars, which the Chessmen of Mars is one of my favorites. Great Frazetta cover. Again, you know, I got the Frazetta spot illustrations in this. This one has some. Pretty good stuff. $5 a piece. You really can't go wrong. So Harlan Ellison, Run for the Stars, Jack Dan, Jack C. Holloman, Echoes of Thunder. Harlan Ellison, Web of the City. I really enjoy Harlan Ellison's book. Losing him, you know, we lost a lot when he passed. Knowing that, you know, with our creators that we like and that we enjoy, be it comic books, movies, or particularly novels and comics, knowing that once the creator is gone, we'll never ever see anything new by that individual. It's kind of depressing, really, because Harlan was doing videos on YouTube up until after he got sick and well into this decade. He was doing videos and talking about literary stuff and his books and the stuff that Harlan is known to talk about in his ever colorful way that he does. But it's depressing. No one will never see another book from Harlan Ellison. Partners in Wonder. Never read anything by Harlan Ellison. I recommend almost anything. I really can't, again, because his style would vary. I mean, it's a Harlan Ellison story when you read it, but to it's a different flavor, a different texture, I should say, to his stories. So it's hard to um, recommend anything because it might strike someone in a certain way, and you should recommend another story because it's got a different flavor than one story to the other. So it's hard to recommend anything. Phoenix Without Ashes by Edward Bryant and Harlan Ellison. Alice in Wonderland. 16 excursions into the fantastic universe of Alice in Wonderland. And I got a Elric book, Michael Moorcock, nice hardback, part of the Elric series. And 9 stories of science fiction and fantasy, creatures from beyond. Which looks pretty interesting. Love the cover art. Well, that's it. Not a long video. Kept it under 15 minutes. Just wanted to check in, talk about the recent books I picked up. I haven't really talked about recent stuff, things that have been picked up. The last couple of videos I've done that. Because usually I try to stay focused on older stuff, the stuff that people might not have seen or known about or read about, or they've seen or they've heard but never seen them, never seen another video, or I don't know, something just to have a different take on certain things. So I try to stay away from the recent stuff to talk about that. But I've had these books and talk about that, and again, the recent stuff people might find of interest. Like I said, I just keep up with the newer stuff. Not a lot, just enough to keep my pulse on, keep my finger on the pulse. Geez, I can't talk tonight. Finger on the pulse of what's going on in the comic book world, and again, enjoy a lot of the stories. You guys take care. Have a good weekend. We're supposed to get snow in this part, so I got tons of coffee and a lot of comics and a lot of books to read. So I say bring it on. So, all right, you guys take care and enjoy your weekend.